I don't know if I can go topless on Vidme, and I'm putting on a shirt in like a really weird way. As Luke Castella, YouTube has this without my head cropped off, but Vidme does not. Okay. Hello, wonderful people of places. I'm your favorite emo faggot, Adam Snowflake, but I recently changed my name to Luke Castella, and I'm langoelovergirl5, not Samantha Rose Cohen, who deepfaked herself to look like me in my content. The history of langoelovergirl5 is that it was me in Nebraska's time period when I was raised, as a time period I skipped over in Galatay. Uh, right before a time travel trip to Galatay, which lasted the whole entire eon, where I was not this face, but a famous celebrity named Adam Snowflake. That was me with too much testosterone in my system as to why it looked like a shapeshifted, totally different face. That was me on Hermetics. So it was me celibate, blonde hair and blue eyed, with a button nose and rosebud lips and cheekbones. And it was something I chose for myself to look like in like a dramatic way. It was me Aryan in the way that we pride ourselves on in Germany that was appropriate to say in the time period. It was me as "Worm on a String," a breast cancer story where it still hurts to wear a shirt despite my Ministry of Magic shirt. It still really hurts to wear a shirt. I had to get my chest removed even though I'm a cisgender guy and there's nothing there, and I pretended it was a top surgery because transgender just meant that much to me before I left the group permanently. I don't identify as autistic. I don't identify as transgender. People forced those labels on me, and I felt like they were me at the time period. Oh my God, was Adam Snowflake as me autistic and transgender? And the truth is, both labels are really real identities. The problem with both labels is that they have fetish groups attached to them that could make you X the group even if you have neurodivergence or something wrong with your brain and social cues. It doesn't matter what your reputation of social cues is. The history is if you're autistic, you're agreeing to certain fetishes to be ascribed to you or done to you over and over again, like people picking your gender for you in ways of gender fluid over and over again if you would say you're the version autistic. And it's why it's a male only group that women are not allowed, that I would love to go back to, but not if it keeps those fetishes. And it really wants to keep ass being happy right now. And I just am trying to leave a group that is my destiny label in like a lot of weird ways, where if I'm born biologically male and I don't want to see a female bottom, even though I chest bind when my chest is better, I'm going to go back to binding. Even though I have to keep my hair short, even though I have an emo mop of hair, even though it has a history. Like, I was obsessed with all these idyllic, angelic features as Adam Snowflake, and I'm an immortal, so I had to say goodbye to his persona with the time period that it was for that whole time travel trip in Galatay, and I still have my hand tattoo that was Adam Snowflake's that will soon wash off because tattoos fade. Tattoos fade, it's just gonna fade away, and then I go with a swastika on my ankle because I'm Asian identified in a way that Adam Snowflake was white, 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 white until he ended. And the history is not that I was a Nazi or like an ethno cleanser or like neckbeard's agenda or anything. There's a lot of assumptions people have about Adam Snowflake with Nazi being true. The history is I just kind of have never been a left leaning liberal or a feminist. And in my time period, I evolved out of those identities because honestly, if they would pick scatology and to be regressive groups, no matter what they used to be to emo, no matter what they used to be to progressives and SJW looking like that, because Keyboard Warriors is a neckbeards agenda group. SJWs is a progressive group. Even if you hate progressives or like neckbeards agenda, you have to admit that neckbeards agenda is a really far right-leaning regressive group, and progressives is a right-wingers group. And to not know the difference between right leaning or right adjacent, which is things like Republican and conservative, and then right wingers, which is things like Nazis and alt right, to not know the difference because you think, oh, marginalized people and like a giant sum of it when it's not in development for its time period, which it was in Galatée. In Galatée, to say you were a leftist was to say you were the most progressive thing on earth. It would be to say you were Abraham Lincoln's party, which was Republican, but all of those presidents aged Democratic today. So here in New Year Neverland, every single one of the presidents has been a Democrat. None of them have counted as a Republican, and the party is now extinct. The history is now a fantasy party, but you can still write it down with green tea party, which is two E's if you're American, and one A. EA if you're English. You can even write the English party down when you're voting. You can now write your party in when you're voting, which I'm really happy about as the president's son. The history of my abduction is that it filled my YouTube channel in the end. It was like all I could talk about regarding Galatée. I was like, I'm abducted as Adam Walsh and I survived, and people think I'm dead because Eric Coetting faked a suicide note of mine on Tumblr as Today We Tackle. And it was just like all of these like historical things. And in general, um, the history of it is kind of just that as Adam Snowflake, I did not tell lies. I refused and I was celibate. And now that we're starting over and I'm changing my name and we will remember me as on high on boy juice and testosterone's not grow or chew and I wasn't really on it. I was on like doses to feel it of myself, and it's the lie I like to give because it's like I can only lie to protect something, but I permanently consider it when I'm on testosterone. When I look that masculine with long hair, it has never been me literally on testosterone. It's been me having sex and doing horrible testosterones and like a really weird way of hermetics and drugs. And I don't know if it counted as me fully on tea or fully not, but it's permanently how I'm going to present it to you because it's what I consider it. And so the history of it is me looking that masculine no matter how I got away with it. Me with long hair, looking like Axl Rose, clenching my jaw so it looks like this on my face. That permanently is what I consider me on testosterone because it's a phrase I like to use. It's not ever going to be literally me on testosterone. Where, sorry, I have a whistle tick right now from like medicine during the Adam Walsh abduction. It's fine. I survived. We're already past the point where they found the body in the sewer of my Arkins case. I survived as a different kid. It's a long story about what Arkins is as a different body disorder where you have multiple bodies and you survive in lineage to yourself. And the previous body was a dream that you go back to in like a dramatic way. And I was abducted by Russia because I built a lot of cities as taught to me by the Lexington Goetia. And Russia just kind of wanted me to build companies and do nuclears for Russia when I'm an American scientist as Albert Einstein. And I was like, because that's my past Arkins case. That's who I belong to. You're like, you look nothing like the older photo. Yeah, but it's all supposed to be me. And the older photo is very famously an experiment I did that is faked. Where it's kind of, I'm also going to play him in the movie and pretend I'm my nephew Adam. It's going to be great. It's going to be great because I was just crazy as Albert Einstein. And that's a different Arkins case. So you grew up once and you became Albert Einstein. I didn't reach a day past 16 as Albert, but yes, I was Albert Einstein. I was Jane Austen. Those are my Arkins cases. Because Arkins is a disorder where you're born to different parents over and over again in a lineage throughout time period. And sometimes it's how I time travel because I just woke up suddenly in that time period and I was Jane Austen. I was like, okay. And it was just like the most awkward and crazy thing that I was Jane Austen and I worked for the Ministry of Magic and no one believed me. And they were like, you're crazy and a woman. And I'm like, I'm a male. And then I ran away as Jane Austen. Where I'm Junji Ito right now and I'm a horror artist. And everyone's like, Adam Snowflake, the horror artist. I'm like, never. Never if that's who he was. And if that's like the honest history of who Adam Snowflake seems as or who Adam Snowflake is, I'm just not Adam Snowflake in that way. And the history is I was for a whole time period. I'm giving that up to be Luke Castella now. My mom in the abduction is Miss Herwell, and she's like, "You can't keep changing your name. You're a crazy person." And I'm just like, I definitely need a name change with the eternity because it's been so many years. If we're now saying goodbye to my brother and sister as Ashley and Jordan, yeah, they were sealed in their AI, frozen before a giant mistake with Herkbajir hit both of them, and they were programmed out of their original personalities in a giant way. But oh my God, are those AI my siblings? At least we were able to determine they never stole offerings. They just kept taking stuff thinking it was okay, and it was a mistake each time. But oh my God, did they not steal offerings as my siblings? No matter why they had red watermelon, and that's what matters to me, because stealing offerings is about intent, and if you just don't know, you just don't know. And someone else is giving it on premises or perimeter because we took in strays as my family, then those were really raccoon's chocolates, and Ashley just didn't know any better. So the history of it is kind of that I'm leaving my old persona behind. This is my first ever Vidme video, and Vidme has my channel archive for right now. I'm still mirroring it on YouTube until Vidme's up, because it's not a thing in my time period, but it's a thing in development with Braincake Productions right now, and I'm about to be locked out of my YouTube account. This is my first YouTube video telling you about me. I'm a conservative right-winger named Adam Snowflake, or I was, and the history is I never get political. I'm just like every single, like, Black Lives Matter, the gay agenda, without Darius, that gay became separated for lesbian, like allyship and body positivity and like atheists for anarchy, all in like one scoop. And I'm never gonna force my politics on you, but a lot of people were like, "You're gonna be preppy, we can't wait for you to be preppy," and I'm just like, that's never gonna be my politics. The pig is a hate symbol that leftists and liberal are too. Preppy is to it, gay is to it. The pig is a hate symbol. It's a genetically engineered animal to match the hate symbol. The history of the curses and transformations are what I identify it as. I think it's a great animal, but every single thing that likes it is evil as shit. And that's my stance on the pig and why I hate the pig and why I can't stand it. So yeah, I'll see you guys. I'm never gonna be preppy. I'm emo. Bye.